Rohan Patel, comic book movie.
Hi, Rohan.
Hi, Genevieve. It's great to meet you. How are
Nice
you
to
doing?
see you.
Okay, so this is the first time we're seeing you again after Rogue One, which is this is before that, and this is after Revenge of the Sith. So, what was sort of left unexplored about Mon Mothma that you were excited to revisit in Andor?
I mean, so much. We've previously met her as a one of the leaders of the rebellion. She's always surrounded by rebels. She's usually sending someone off on a mission. There is an organized rebellion behind her. Where we meet her in Andor, there is none of that. She is a member of the Imperial Senate. She is representing Chandrila within that Senate. We know that she is an advocate for democracy within that autocracy. But when we meet her in Andor, she's a very lonely, isolated voice of opposition. We have so much to learn about her. How dangerous is it to be that lonely voice? How much she has to lose? What does she have to sacrifice before we find her in that rebellion, in that rebel world of Yavin in Rogue One? We start her in such a very different place in Andor. There's a long way to go.
Awesome. And so, like, the last time in chronologically we saw her was in Revenge of the Sith, and so like you said, she's lonely after everything that happened because there's a devastating consequences of Revenge of the Sith. So um where does she initially pick up, and where do you and with Tony Gilroy back at the helm of this show, how is it like just re-entering his version of the Star Wars universe?
I mean, it's extraordinary having the opportunity to do this with Tony because he's such a brilliant writer. He is such an extraordinary, textured, rich writer of this genre. And so to have him at the helm here is nothing but a win for Star Wars fans, I think. You mentioned Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith, and I was fortunate. I mean, those scenes didn't make the film, but I was fortunate enough to film those scenes, and they were about fighting for democracy within Empire, trying to effect change from within. We know she's been a senator since the time she was 16. So she comes from some pretty strict cultural customs. We meet her in Andor, in a place where I think for a long time she has been believing that everything that she said in Revenge of the Sith, believing that she could make a change, affect change from within, believing that you can shift the dial within an autocracy if you just keep fighting. And I think when we meet her in Andor, she's come to the end of that hope. She realizes she has to step outside all the safety nets that she's had her whole life, and she has to risk it all.
So I don't want to keep you too long, but there are a lot of Star Wars characters still very much alive during this sort of period. So, like, are there any characters that you'd like to cross paths with? There's Vader, there's Yoda, there's so many other characters still in this universe. So are there any you wishful thinking?
I mean, I would hope she gets to meet them all. If you even think about Rogue One and the characters in Rogue One, I'm fascinated to see who she who within Tony's planetary mind, who she crosses paths with. I think she has the position to hopefully encounter many. It can only make her richer, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Tony writes her to Rogue One, how far we have to go. I'm as excited about that, maybe even more excited as than the fans are.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's great to
Thank,
meet you.